Just a quick look at the differences between the keyboard and the desktop versions of the third wave, as I've got them both in front of me. The synths themselves are identical. We've got the same inputs and outputs on the back. They've got the same screen. They've got the same knobs. We've got smaller buttons on the desktop version, obviously to fit as much into this smaller space as possible. But the overall feel is very similar. It does look like there are a lot less knobs on the desktop, but most that are missing are duplicates. For example, on the desktop, we've got the 5 for the oscillators, whereas on the keyboard, we've got 3 sets of 5, so 1 for each of the oscillators. On the desktop, we select which of the oscillators we're adjusting using these buttons here. But actually, 3 of the 5 knobs are encoders. So when you're moving from oscillator to oscillator, there's no risk of jumping values except for maybe on the fine tune or the level, which doesn't make much difference to the sound really. It's easy to get it back. So there's very little in it. The wave envelopes are exactly the same. The filters are exactly the same. Filter envelope and amp envelope are exactly the same. We do have an extra section for envelopes 3 and 4 on the keyboard, which we don't have on the desktop, but we do have these buttons here. And these turn the filter and amp knobs into envelopes 3 and 4. You'll notice on the keyboard version that we've got an extra set of knobs down on the bottom, but these are all menu items that pop up when you hit the buttons anyway. So you hit the button, you've got attack, decay, sustain, release, attack, decay, sustain, release, then you've got your miscellaneous settings, and these do a few of the miscellaneous settings, but these contextual knobs at the top are just all that anyway. So the preset section is the same, the multi-part section is the same. We've got the hold, the wave flow, and the pan spread, hold, wave flow, pan spread. On the desktop, we've just got these 4 buttons to select which LFO we're looking at, and we change the values using these knobs here. On the keyboard version, we've still got to select which LFO we're going to be using, and then we use these knobs here to change the values rather than having to move a whole 6 inches up to these contextual ones. So again, there's very little in it. And that's the same for modulation. We've just got the source and destination buttons on the desktop. We've got the source and destination buttons on the keyboard, plus we've got the select and the amount knobs. But when we hit the source or destination, we've got to move all the way to these knobs here in order to select the source and the destination and to set the amount, whereas select and amount are there. But you still have to maybe move over to there. I mean, do source and destination. I mean, we can hit the buttons and move straight to the values, but it's not like you get bogged down in anything at all on the desktop. So source, envelope 3, destination, cut off. Done, and then change the amount there. So source, we'll go to envelope 3 again. Oh, source, envelope 3, destination, cut off. Then we've got the knob there to adjust the amount rather than having to go all the way over there. The sequencer and ARP have got separate sections on the keyboard, and we've just got this one little section here on the desktop. So we've got the tempo knobs. We've actually got independent tempo knobs, and not independent tempo knobs, but separate tempo knobs for the sequencer and the arpeggiator, and they adjust the same tempo. It's not 2 separate tempos. For the tempo on the desktop, we've got a tap tempo. I can't actually find a tap tempo if there is one on the keyboard version, but hit tap tempo and then we can adjust the BPM, whereas on these we've got the tempo there. But you know, again, very little in it. This brings up on the desktop version a separate page for BPM and swing, whereas when we're in one of the sequencer or arpeggiator modes, we've got the BPM and swing on the same page because we've got access to those knobs. Whoops. And finally, this big wave surfer knob at the top, we don't have that on the desktop, but we do have this additional wave surfer button. Push the wave surfer button, we're in wave surfer mode, and now these 4 knobs above the screen do exactly what these 4 knobs do above the screen after we've hit the wave surfer knob. So there's very little in it. So much so, in fact, that as I've had desktop version first and got used to using it, it almost feels like there's an excessive amount of knobs on the keyboard version. No one's going to complain about too many knobs, but you don't actually need them all. The desktop version shows how slick the whole interface is, but after seeing the keyboard version in Superbooth, I did plumb to buying that because I do like the paint job, and I do prefer keyboards rather than desktops. I've run out of space in the studio, which is why I got the desktop version, but I've fallen in love so much with the third wave, I am going to sell something else to be able to put this on a stand. So the question is, what am I going to get rid of, which is something else I'm going to look at? Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, please think about subscribing, ring the bell, join me over on Patreon. The channel is funded by affiliate links, YouTube ads, and my wonderful patrons who, for the price of a dodgy coffee a month, get access to patches, samples, tutorials, and extra bits and bobs. Also, do take a look at my starskycar.com website. Again, there's patches, there's samples and things to buy. Things that are free, but it's nice, as I always say, if you pick up some of the really cheap bits, just all helps to support the channel. Anyway, thanks for staying to the very end. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you next time.